a broker dealer that helps businesses raise capital. And I've been working with them for the last year and a half. I spent many years working in a bulge bracket investment bank in New York and private equity, and moved to Utah 15 years ago and have worked for companies such as Lucadia and Overstock.com. And now I'm back in finance.
Cool. Thanks, Sarah. Devin, do you want to give some background on yourself and what you're up to?
Sure. Well, hello, everyone. This is the first time I've been here, and thank you, Taylor, so much for inviting me and talking last week. This sounded like really cool, an idea, so happy to be part of it. I'm Devin Johnson. I'm CEO of Zentainer. We're an advisory and digital agency based out of Fort Collins, Colorado. We do digital and marketing due diligence and then help on the execution of those strategies. Whatever comes out of that. That might be, website design and development to some marketing strategy and execution.
Very cool. Thanks, Devin. As always, I encourage everybody to connect via LinkedIn or however you want. The chat is also open and available, so throw questions in the chat as Mike is presenting. We'll try and keep on top of those, and then that'll also be fodder for the Q&A and discussion afterwards. Mike, I am going to give you the screen now, and if you've got a presentation, fantastic, you can share it. Otherwise, talk to us and educate us. Let us know what we should be doing at the top end of our funnel.
Yeah, fantastic. First off, thanks for having me. I really enjoy speaking, especially when it's something I'm smart on. But I do have a quick presentation here. And so as I'm bringing that up, I wanted to point out that Taylor and I, we had a conversation yesterday. And so based on your conversation with me, there are really two key things that I'm going to try and accomplish here. I'm going to give you something that's actionable, and I'm going to give you something that's that can have an immediate impact at each of the top of the funnel levels, so long as you actually put them into practice. A lot of people listen to presentations, and whether it's digital or in person, and then they don't really do anything with it. So I worked really hard on making this stuff super simple and something that people can take something away from. So I'm sharing my screen. Let me know if you can't see it. Okay. So here's kind of how to convert using storytelling principles. And the first thing that we're going to talk about is the attracting of a lead. And so there are three things that you want to do. You want to use no-oriented questions. You want to position yourself as the guide, and I put in caps locks, not the hero. And we'll talk more about that here shortly. And then you want to understand the curse of knowledge so that you can get around it. So using no-oriented questions, and this could be in a Facebook ad, it could be in a Google ad, it could be anywhere any new person to your funnel, your circle, your lead opportunities or lead generation sees you. You want to use no-oriented questions, and here's why. How does this question make you feel? Do you have a moment to talk? Everybody hates that question when they pick up the phone. And it's because you don't want to be rude and say no, but you really don't want to have to listen to what they're about to talk to you about. Okay, so a no-oriented question would be a way to provide a sense of control of the conversation and a sense of security. It's easy to say no when there's no pressure to say yes. Also, it gives you more information as the person asking that question, as long as you know where to look or read between the lines. And it's a pattern interrupt. So people are bombarded with yes all day, every day. People are looking for the yes, whether you're selling or not selling. Ads are looking for the yes because they just want you to agree and they want affirmation. But if you ask a no-oriented question, it pauses and asks that person to really think about what they're answering in a sense of no, and they'll be able to progress on this. Yes is a definitive end of the conversation where somebody can just say yes, and 9 times out of 10, that's the end of it. If you ask a no-oriented question, it will almost always, in my experience and from my education, say no, and they're going to expand on it. So you want to use the power of the no-oriented question, and it'll give you more information. So the second thing is the hero and the guide. Okay, so this is a storytelling principle. Every movie, every book, every story you've ever heard has 7 critical pieces or parts to it. The hero is one of them, and the guide is another one of them. And it's really important to understand the relationship between the two. So heroes don't need other heroes. So if I'm looking for Casey, what do you sell?
Audio systems.
Okay, so if I'm a hero in a story and I'm looking for audio systems, and you, Casey, you say, you position yourself in your marketing collateral as the hero. Me, as a hero, I look to you, Casey, as another hero, and I say, I don't need a hero, I need a guide. Because a hero can't help me progress in my story. He's not going to be able to help me solve my problem. And some of the problem is I don't know what my problem is anywhere less than I need an audio system. Because there's an external problem, which is I need to be able to hear my sound in my stereo and TV. Then the internal problem is I'm sad that I can't hear the movie and experience it the way that I want to. And the philosophical problem is that it's a pain in the butt to try and have to find somebody who's smart enough and can provide me a solid solution without me having to worry about it. So if I'm positioned as the hero and Casey is positioned as the hero, you can't help me because you're on your own journey trying to find a guide. Okay? Heroes are also one-dimensional, and they cannot win on their own, and challenge typically paralyzes them in the sense of, if I hit your website, Casey, and it's really confusing, I will hit the back button and you lost me as a customer because I'm challenged in trying to look and find the solution that you're solving or the problem that you're solving. Whereas on the other side of it, the guide has great strength. They're experienced with a been there, done that kind of approach, and they have experience in winning by the standards of the hero. And they provide a plan of action. The plan is very, very important. So, and we'll talk more about that here in a little bit. Okay, so this is one of my favorite movies. It's from Gladiator. Proximo here. He is the guide to Maximus, the hero in the story. It says, win the crowd and you will win your freedom. That's a plan. Proximo has literally been in the arena fighting. He knows how to win and win his freedom so that he can go do other things, make a bunch of money as a slave owner. Now, whether or not you morally agree with that is another story completely. But point being, he's a perfect guide to the situation. Okay? Haymitch to Katniss. In the elevator, as they're going up to the cornucopia, he says, you turn, run, find high ground, look for water. Plan right there. Haymitch is the guide. He tells Katniss how to win the day. Okay? Mon Mothma, in one of my favorite movies, Star Wars, she gives Jin the plan and says, authenticate the story of the Death Star, find your father if possible. Okay? All 3 of these people are guides in the story to the hero. Okay? And you notice that without the guide, if you really think about it, without the guide, there's no story. Okay? So what I would challenge you to do is position your company as the guide to the hero, who is the customer lead coming to you to solve a problem. Okay, and the third thing is the curse of knowledge. I love this one because people kind of vibe with it a lot when they think about it. What do you do, Jake? We create award-winning custom outdoor living spaces. So you're a landscaper. Yes. So that's the same thing. Those are basically the same thing, just explained in high-level words and low-level words. And I would challenge you. I mean, I've been certified and taught it, so I notice it all the time, but I guarantee if you guys drive around or go to websites and you look at websites or ads or billboards or just marketing collateral wherever you go, and you ask them or you ask yourself, what does that person do or what does that company do? I'd say more than half the time you don't know, just based on what they're saying on their ad collateral, whether it's a flyer, a brochure, a billboard, a website. And I would even challenge you guys to look at your websites and ask yourself the question if you have never been there before. And I'm going to give you a test that you can run that on your own website. Okay, so the curse of knowledge is, as the business owner and operator, you know the most out of your business, period. You know everything there is, the ins and outs, the good, the bad, the ugly, every nook and cranny. So you're a 10 out of a 10. Your customers will convert out of a 2 out of 10. So when I say this to business owners, they're always like, no. I don't want to insult the people that are coming to my website or the people that I talk to. It's like, you're not insulting them. You're explaining clearly what you do, and you're not leaving anything to chance, and you're not leaving this vague open space of trying to be existential with what you do, and you're just explaining exactly what it is you do. And I've got some examples here a little bit later. Okay, so that is the ad set, or the ads and the way that you're communicating and the things that you're going to do at a high level. And now we're going to get granular with the landing page or the website. Okay, so here are 4 things that every website or landing page needs to have, and even ad collateral if it's a brochure, flyer, anything like that. You need to have, I can't emphasize this enough, you need to have a clear and consistent call to action. Some of you are going, yeah, duh, totally, I have it on my website, but you probably don't, okay? Learn more, that's vague. Learn what? More of what? Learn, like, that's not consistent and it's not clear, okay? You need schedule a call, buy now, talk with a rep, okay? You need to be super hyper focused and specific with your call to action, okay? Your website needs to communicate what you do. So if you sell stereo equipment, you need to say, we sell stereo equipment, okay? If you sell car stereos, we sell car stereos. If you sell pumpkin carving equipment, we sell pumpkin carving equipment, okay? The next thing is you need to communicate how it will change their life. So if I go back to the pumpkin carving, we sell pumpkin carving equipment so you don't go to the hospital from cutting your finger off, okay? We sell cars that ride smoothly and don't break down. We sell home theater equipment that will make you feel like you're in the movie. And in addition to, what's up? Oh, I thought I heard somebody. If you're not laying it on thick, you're not laying it on thick enough. Okay, so if you look at that and you're like, well, I could probably be more clear, you probably can be. Okay, and the last thing is something that each of you can do on your own website or in your own marketing collateral, and that's the grunt test, okay? So you go to a website, your website or some other website, and you look at it for 5 seconds. If you can't find in 5 seconds the call to action, what they do and how it changes your life, you're not clear enough in your communication. And therefore, you're not bringing your leads or prospects into a story that they can actually genuinely vibe with and understand what you do and how you can help them.
Mike, I've got a request. As people are going through this and listening to you, I would love to have them type in the chat the number 2 and number 3 in your checklist, just to see. I see
right here.
It did that. I'd love to have other people say what you do and how you're going to change people's lives with what you do in the chat, just so everybody can see it. That's my request of everyone on the call.
Would love to have everyone on the call communicate 2 and 3 in this list of your company. So my company personally?
No, I'm asking everybody on the call right now to type in the chat what they do and how it's going to change their customers' lives, just so that we can all see it. I think that would be really interesting.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
For everybody on the call right now. And
yeah.
You mark that go.
And I've got a couple examples here, and then we're pretty much done. And we can, I know you wanted some Q&A stuff, so we can jam on that too. Okay, so here's a gym. So, yeah, so clear call to action, schedule a phone consultation, right there smack dab in the middle, what they do and how it changes their life. It's gonna save them time in the current pandemic lifestyle, and it tells you what they do. Next one is, obviously you can see it. They do service and programs to guide nonprofit development. Okay, and it talks about how it changes their life so they can be a confident solution for their nonprofit. Clear call to action, schedule time to chat. Okay, so if I'm being critical of this, just because it kind of bugs me, the call to action, this is not a good example of And then another one here, NGN Pictures, clear call to action, what they do, how it changes their life. Okay, so that pretty much concludes my presentation. And I see things rolling in here after Taylor asked for people to throw that in there. No, Sid, I am not on LinkedIn. And if I am, I haven't updated it in years. So yeah, anyway, I'm happy to open it up to any Q&A. We can kind of jam on some ideas, or if there was something specific on that presentation, we can go over that.
Could you talk about the no question again? Maybe give me another example. I was a little confused still. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention.
Yeah, so putting me under the gun, it's got me a little nerved, but let's see if I can. So are you confident that you put your trash bin in the right spot for the trash guy to pick up? That would be a no-oriented question, because it forces you to think about something versus, and see, that's a bad, because I can't think of a yes side of that.
Versus just like, did you?
Yeah.
On sales calls, I use it on sales calls in my cold call. If I can jump in a little bit, Michael.
Yeah. Go for it.
Did I catch you at a bad time? It puts them in like a position where I'm like, hey, like, are you busy? Like, yeah, I'm busy. Did I catch you at a bad time? Gives them like they have to think about it, and then they have control by saying, no, you didn't catch me at a bad time. You're asking them a question that gives them no, and no gives them power and control in that conversation. Is that what you're getting at, Michael?
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, and it's just Spencer, just to kind of firmly concrete that idea is, if the real purpose of a no-oriented question, if you accomplish these things, I mean, the yes and no, the result of the question isn't the big thing. It's whether or not you're putting them into control of the conversation, because no gives them power and it gives them a sense of confidence, and no, I just cut you off right there. So it gives them that power, that sense of power in conversation, and you want to be able to pattern interrupt them.
So you want to have them say no, you're saying?
Yes, yeah, because that gives me more information.
Okay.
Can you explain what pattern interrupt is?
So pattern interrupt is the best way that I can explain it, and somebody smarter than me could probably do a better job. If you go to a different city, the driving laws and rules are all the same. However, there's always that one sign that you've never seen before that always just kind of forces you to slow down just a little bit so you can read it and know exactly what you're thinking and what you need to do. That's the best way I can explain it. A pattern interrupt is something that's going to disrupt your thought process and what you're expecting, and change the expectations of what the conversation is going to, how it's going to go. It's another way to look at it is, if you pull into a car lot and you get out, and somebody that has a suit and tie, or they're dressed in a tie and really nice shoes, I mean, most people are going to think that their pattern is, that guy's going to try and sell me a car. The pattern interrupt would be that he's just trying to buy another car and wants to look at the one you were just sitting in.
Do you have any examples of landing pages that you're just like, yep, this one's brilliant?
There was one, not landing pages, Tara, I can get those for you. This example right here, let's see. Share screen.
I would love to see something as you apply these theories. One is great enough. If you can just talk through it, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so I don't have any landing pages. However, this website is a fantastic, I didn't do this, I wish I did. This is a beautiful website. But this is a fantastic example of getting people to understand what you do, how you do it, and how it changes, or what you do and how it changes their lives. Tara, I'll make sure to get your information and send you some landing pages that are kind of up to par as far as what I think are really good. But this website's really good. So,
hey, Mike, one question for you on that. Dale just asked if he could show his landing page and have you check it out.
Hell yeah, I'm down with that. Let's go. So Dale, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like my military father and 1 being cupcake, where do you want me to fall on that scale?
You look like a cupcake.
Wow. Stage.com. Okay. Oh, gee, military. Excellent. Okay, perfect.
It looks like Tyler Gibbs is volunteering as well.
Okay. Cool. Let's see it. Okay, so is this Tyler's or is this
This is Dale right there. Look at
okay.
Dale.
Okay, first off, nobody cares about this right here. Get rid of this. Nobody cares who you are or what you've done at this point in the relationship. So if you are, it's kind of like, okay, Dale, let me ask you this. If you sat down with a girl, I don't know if you're married or girlfriend or whatever, but if you sat down with a girl, would you start talking about yourself right away? If the answer is no, which I hope, that's probably no. Okay, yeah. So you want to get rid of this. So with that caveat, like there is a time and a place for this section right here, but it's not here. It's further down on the page. And then second off, I don't know what you do. Like, are you offshore? Do you do offshore software development? Or, and I don't know how to buy. Like you're taking away your real estate here where I could I could be super pumped and know everything about you already and not have to worry about this and just ready to buy, and I can't.
So is this real quick? I have a question for Dale. What's your ideal outcome? If someone comes to your website here, what is your ideal outcome?
So, I mean, this main homepage here basically takes you into one of 2 or 3 different places, depending upon who you are. So the offshore software development section, that's kind of the door into the bigger landing page for the SaaS leader who's looking for offshore developers. There's another section for softwarepreneurs who are looking to build their own apps who don't know how to do that or don't have the resources to do that. And then there's a section for careers, people that are looking for jobs. And so this main landing page is kind of a catch-all to say, okay, we're directing traffic. You go here, you go there, and you go over there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So simple answer is all 3 of these are 3 separate landing pages.
So they all go to 3 different landing pages that are dedicated to those audiences.
Yeah, because if I'm here and I'm hitting this and I'm like, oh yeah, I want offshore software development, and then I see this, it's like, oh, how to create an app. Then I go, do I need an app? What would that app look like? Why would I do an app? And then you just lost my sale here because you split my attention between the 2 of these.
So maybe you should go to the landing page then for just the offshore software development and critique that one instead.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'll click on it and see. So offshore download guide. Okay, so this is for a lead magnet. This isn't for a sale per se.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Some testimonials. Yeah, not bad. You probably, so I'd put a button down here. Another good rule of thumb is this button, this call to action right here. You want this after every section.
Okay, great.
And then what I would do is I would ditch this schedule a call and make it download guide. Because again, so it's not to say that schedule a call is bad. It's just you don't want to divide the attention. It's one of the reasons that college takes 4 years. It's like you have so much to learn and people don't pile all that information into one spot. If you divide the attention, that's bad. You want clear, concise, specific all the way down the page. So just go subscribe to YouTube, another one. And those things aren't bad. It's just the location and where you want to put them could be better.
Mike, you mentioned something that I would be interested in having your take on. Like, this is a lead magnet, is what you said. I'm familiar a little bit with the Tripwire lead magnet core offering profit maximizer. Like, Can you explain a little bit about what you want in each one of those and the function of each one, like a Tripwire lead magnet and core offering, and how it would apply to either this website or another one of the websites?
Yeah. So here, let me.
Taylor, I don't know if this is your intention, but like, are you trying to ask him, okay, so you just said you wouldn't put all these things in these places. So where would you put them? Like, it's more helpful to hear what you would do with those kinds of content rather than just saying, oh, this shouldn't be here.
Yeah. So that kind of goes back a little bit to one of my first comments looking at this page, which is I would create a landing page for each of these. And then that way, and I'm going to go off a little bit of a foxhole here, that ties in a little bit with what Chase talked about last week, which is one of the 3 critical campaigns, which is long-term nurture. So landing page for each of these provides more information and more ability for the customer to get to know, like, and trust you. So each of these landing pages, you have more real estate to contribute and sell them on the action, which is learn more or get MVP resources or making a career move.
I don't see how that's different from what I've done, because I have landing pages for each of those. That's what I'm confused on the feedback a little bit.
Yeah. So is this your website or is this a landing page?
This is the website, but those links take people to specific landing pages for their audience.
Okay, so I'm going to go a little bit into something we didn't talk about, which is more of the story aspect of it as far as it relates to the website. So first off, I still don't understand how interacting with any of these is going to make my life better. And I don't know what you do, so like what your company does outside of these 3 service offerings. So it would be like going to a gym and saying, I want to go to a gym and I want to get stronger, but the gym only talks about nutrition and weight loss. So I don't know if they can help me. And I know that's getting really nitpicky and really like super granular, but you got to realize in the modern era and the modern age, it's really easy for somebody to just hit back if they're even the slightest bit of confused. So if you have this real estate right here, you could be telling them more about how it is that you can change their life. Because people don't make, okay, so let me rewind. People are going to make decisions based on the emotional attachment to the problem that they're having. Because people don't go to sleep thinking, man, I need to create an app. They go to bed thinking that they need to sleep better and know that the app is actually going to help them in the problem that it's going to solve. So at Longship Systems, people need systems and processes in place because they don't want to spend the time working on that stuff because they want to spend it with family. So we don't solve the problem of creating systems and processes. We save time, we save money, and we give you time back so you can spend it on more valuable things. So your website here, you have offshore software development, but I don't know how that's going to make my life better. So if I'm kind of on the fence on whether or not I need that, you potentially lose that lead and sale. And down here, it's the same thing. You're just splitting the attention of that individual. And I don't know if I'm answering your question. So let me get a temperature check there.
Mike, can you repeat that? You said people make buying decisions based on something emotional.
On their emotional connection to the problem. So there are 3, when a person has a challenge or a problem, there are 3 aspects to it. The external problem, which is the obvious thing that I need a website built, or I need landscaping, or I need, it's the tangible thing that they're buying or purchasing. And with service-based companies, it's a little bit tougher. That problem, that external problem, has them feeling a certain way, and that's the internal problem. So the feeling is they're losing money, they feel like they're losing money, or they feel like they are not communicating clearly, or they feel like they're missing opportunities. And then there's the philosophical problem, which is kind of the moral dilemma of the situation, whereas it's just not fair in life that this is a problem that they have to deal with. And so your goal on this website or a website or landing page is to communicate those 3 things. And for lack of a better term, you want a gut punch to them and you want it to resonate with them so that they feel that pain and they make that decision to either opt in or buy or schedule a call. And this valuable real estate being a website, and one of my points to Dale is that you're missing the boat here because they are struggling, or people struggle to make those connections. You want them to feel it at an emotional and a philosophical level.
Mike, Jeff just commented that maybe looking at the other websites that were listed in the comments would be helpful just to get some contrast between what Dale's doing here and what the others are doing. So there's
So these websites here, or the ones that I gave example of?
no, just in the comments, there are a few like fytt.io. Todd volunteered his website, and I don't know what if he's looking for cupcake or military either.
Okay.
Lay it on.
Okay. A full marketing suite that scales agencies. Okay. That's not bad. I would say I would challenge agencies can get kind of weird, especially when you've got mostly because you've got digital agencies, marketing agencies, videography agencies. That kind of calls into question a little bit. Get started for free. What am I starting? Scale your agency, saving software cost, retaining clients, and simplifying your admin work. That's not bad. That's pretty good. The only thing you're missing here is this emotional attachment. Again, you want them to understand and resonate. You want it to resonate how it's going to change your life. If you clarify that and what you do on a more granular and specific level, and I understand, and this is part of the curse of knowledge, full marketing suite. I get that. However, when I was a new business owner, I owned a gym for 10 years. When I was first year, I would not know what this means. And so if you can clean that up, this might be a little bit clearer, but you could probably, if this is a trial, say start a free trial. And then same, well, you got membership up there, so that opens up another can of worms, but we can talk about that later.
Cool. Maybe hit another one, Mike, like recordsos.com or fytt.io. No, yeah, one of those two. See what your thoughts are.
FYTT what?
.io.
Ooh, request demo. I like it. Individualized strength and conditioning for every athlete, from macro level programming to individual implementation. I don't know whose this is, but I got to go to another one because I was a strength and conditioning coach in college for 10 years. What was the other one?
Recordsos.com. Or record.
Okay, I'm sorry. One more time. Record what?
Recordsos.com. Record SOS. I'm guessing, Tyler, right? Recordsos.com. Putting the wrong emphasis.
Okay, SOS production login. Cool. With us, recording is simple. Okay, and okay, so another kind of slippery slope, a little bit of insider lingo. You have good branding here, which associates the recording. I would still say, you could probably say recording music is simple, or we make with us. Yeah. The other thing is you want to, this tees up how it changes their life really well. So with us, recording is simple, stress-free studio time or something to that effect. I'm assuming you do studio time, mix and master, book a session, why so affordable. This is good, schedule a free tour, listen to our work. Yeah, this isn't bad. You could probably clean. So this isn't necessarily like wrong. It's just there's some improvement you could make to it. Again, add why it makes their life different or how you're going to help their life by doing business with you. And then I would throw in music. Recording music is simple because your branding here is going to help with it. If you had a background image of a studio or people enjoying what you do or in the studio or recording in a studio, that could probably lend even more branding into the headline that you've got there.
Cool. Everybody throw in the chat if this is helpful, like these case studies and stuff. I thought it was very helpful. Mike, I'm wondering also, maybe to Dale's point, like it sounded like Dale had 2 or 3 different landing pages, but they were all combined, like they were all directed to those landing pages from his website. I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about how to get people to those landing pages. Like if Dale were to split those up and have and say he's marketing specifically to the landing page for offshore coding, and he's wanting to drive people specifically to that landing page, what are some things that he could think about, or any of these people that you went through could think about to drive people to this landing page?
Yes, excellent. Let me kill this. Okay, so getting people to click and take an action has a lot to do with addressing whatever, wherever, and however it is that you're going to try and get them to hit a landing page. Largely lands on, it's very formulaic. And if I'm going to lay out the formula simply, it's that you have to speak to the hero or the customer or lead in the sense of, you need to speak to them about their pain or struggle. So to lean on a no-oriented question and to use a gym as an example, it would be something like, are you confident that you will grow to see your grandchildren's, or are you confident that you will live long enough to see your grandchildren grow up? So that's going to pattern interrupt. It's going to speak to somebody that might be aging, and it's going to speak to somebody who might be questioning their own health in the sense of, can they be healthier without going to a doctor? So you're going to speak to that hero directly, or that lead or prospect. So you need to speak to that person, and then you need to address, and right back to the gut punch, you need to talk and gut punch them with their problem or their challenge that they're facing. And then you need to address the fact that you have either been there or you have helped people do it. And that's where the testimonial and the authority piece comes in. And so Dale's website right at the top talked about him, his experience of what he did and who he is and all that stuff. That's what's called an authority piece, where you talk about what you've done, how you did it, success that other clients have had. If you've been on Fox News or NBC or published in a book, that's an authority piece. And so your formulaic process so far is address the hero, identify yourself as the guide, and then give them the plan of action. And now the plan of action doesn't have to be authenticate the story of the Death Star and go find your father. It can be schedule a free consultation with Chase to blueprint your business. So it's 3 steps right there. It's non-invasive. It's free. We spoke to the hero, and that's everything you need to incite that next action. And because we're talking about a landing page, it could be, you could have your call to action. And this is where call to actions get kind of hairy, because I'm talking to, LinkedIn and Facebook and hard copy ads. So you're going to have to get creative on how those call to actions read. But if you're on Facebook, your calls to action, as far as the buttons that are created in the ads, are, I think, at least the last time I looked at ads, you only have about 8 to choose from, and you can't change them. So if learn more is your best option, obviously you have to stick with that. But you're going to, the plan that you're going to provide to them after you speak to the hero and establish yourself as the guide using authority, your plan for them is going to give them the next step they need to take, which would be click here to go to the landing page, or click here to learn more about this thing. Then the next things you need to do is set the expectation so that it's, click here to hit the landing page where you can schedule a free consultation and talk with or about or do this thing. It doesn't have to be the sale, but you do want to set the expectation so that they can kind of sit back and go, okay, I know what's coming and I'm not going to be blindsided by something.
Cool.
Did that help, Taylor?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I've capitalized on many of the questions. So we're definitely over our typical time, but if you've got another few minutes, Mike, maybe the group on the call right now can throw in some more questions at you.
Yeah, and also if I looked at your website, please, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go super in depth with a Loom video for each of the websites I went over and provide feedback. And because I kind of feel bad that I feel almost, it seems like I sidestepped Dale's question without answering. So I want to make sure that I get to Dale and answer all of his questions. Excuse me, along with Todd's.
Cool.
Excuse me.
Who else has questions?
Cool.
Who else is going to change their who else is going to change their website or a landing page today after today's conversation? What are you going to change it to?
Casey?
I'm going to clarify, make sure those 3 things are on there, because I don't think they are. And I think that I like the idea of, laying it on thick. I don't think I've got it thick enough, because on one of mine is get the best of both worlds, but I don't think people know what that means. I do. I'm for sure.
So again, that goes back to the grunt test, Casey. If there happens to be anybody that like that you are around in person and they don't quite know what you mean, you could literally just show them your website and give them 5 seconds and then close it and say, just ask them those 3 questions. And you would be like, I do it to my wife all the time, and not so much anymore because she knows it's coming. But I mean, it was shocking how often people were like, yeah, no, no clue. They help with mountains and stuff.
Yeah. I'll be doing that.
If I could just say, I really enjoyed the whole idea of telling the story to communicate, because that's exactly where I have been shifting my entire worldview as well as personal story focus. And so the thing that's, I'd love to follow up with you more, Michael. I put it into the chat, being like the hair club president is also a customer. A lot of times people want their doctors to connect with them about something they can relate to. But on the other hand, if the doctor lays it on too thick in their own story, then sometimes it gets to be in the way. So I'm reframing my entire career for being the chief medical officer of a large set of different concepts fitting together, saying, if this is a personal injury related medical legal program, I went through my story. Here's how I made that into dedicating my life to trauma recovery and pain resolution for treating people and training colleagues. And being able to just summarize it in a few words and put my whole life story into a paragraph just yesterday, sending that off to some people for feedback is incredibly exciting. Instead of making it where my story gets in the way, I'm the guide from my own experience that can help other people find their own way. So now I have to figure out how to put it into a website.
That's awesome.
Small stuff, right?
Yep. Mike, would you be willing to share the presentation that you went through?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Okay. If you don't mind sending that, I will put that into the Google folder with the recording of this, and hopefully figure out how to share that with the group. So this has been awesome, Mike. I think you said you were going to follow up with some people. Do you have everybody's contact information that you were going to follow up with, or do you
I still need Dale's. Yeah, so, and then whoever Zampi.io belonged to.
That might have been like a friend of somebody's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a friend of Brian Springer's, it looks like.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll definitely follow up with Dale. And then Todd and Dale, I'll follow up with for sure. I'll provide some pretty awesome feedback on that. I'll get really granular and then even unpack the storytelling process as it relates to the entire website from top to bottom.
Okay. You said you were going to do that in a Loom video?
Hopefully. I know they have 5-minute time limits now.
That sounds awesome. Are you willing to share those also? Like if you send me the link, I can share it with the group so they can listen to what military wisdom you're dropping on people.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. thanks so much. This was awesome, Mike. Really appreciate it. Thanks everybody for your comments and questions. I'll get this recording out to everybody as soon as I can, and really appreciate your time. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Just a question for the contact list. Really appreciate people putting info in. Taylor, if you can make the chats available as part of the send out, that might be helpful for people to get their contacts in.
Perfect. Thanks, Hallie.
Thanks lots. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you later.
Thanks.